But let's get it right. Mike Tyson's 58 years of age and he shouldn't be fighting. It's as simple as that. If it was an exhibition, you'd get half away with that. But the fact that Texas, good old Texas, have basically licensed a 58-year-old to fight. I mean, what does anybody need to say about that? Anyone with an ounce of brains knows what that is ridiculous.
Right, son, whatever I say is not going to make any difference to that. But, boxing's not for 60-year-old guys.
Queensberry promoter Frank Warren has recently shunned the idea of a Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight and called it absolutely absurd. On the contrary, former professional boxer Evander Holyfield, who also happens to be Mike Tyson's former opponent, shared his unique perspective on the matchup. Holyfield revealed a terrifying strategy that may allow Jake Paul to win against Mike Tyson.
Because, it's with the confidence the other guy. I don't know how much confidence that Jake Paul have in all this, but he gonna be a lot quicker. And if he stay close to Mike, then his chance of winning gonna be great. But he try to stay back from Mike, he gonna get caught.
Furthermore, it might be difficult to accept that Tyson is able to move around in the ring, throw punches, and receive blows at that age, according to Lennox Lewis. Lewis also happens to be Mike's former opponent, and he is certain that Mike Tyson can defeat the troublesome child and fight back.
Do that. It's a task. It's hard to box at when you're that old, moving around the ring, throwing punches, getting punches thrown at you.
Mike Tyson's coach, on the other hand, thinks that Tyson trains like any other young fighter and gives it his all. Mike Tyson only engages in combat when he is certain he can prevail. He never enters a battle anticipating defeat. Tyson's coach shared his daring perspective as he continues to take those devastating blows in the sparring videos.
Then you have to see Mike the way he trained. He trained exactly the same way the new generation trains, sometimes more than that. So it's no news for me. I was expecting to see Mike at least fight 2 more times. This is what we're looking for. And then when we hear about Jake, I say, man, Mike can fight against anyone. I see with good eyes what I can see in the gym every single day, his energy, the way he put his strength is unbelievable. The people they have surrounded him, Mike can fight against anyone. It is what we believe. He never gonna put his name in something, true believe he can go there and put a great show. I believe Mike gonna put a great show. He trained hard every single day. When he put focus on something, it's amazing to see. Like I said before, I learn every single day. I see his reaction about everything, and you guys can expect a great show.
Frank Warren expressed doubts about Mike Tyson's ability to compete at his age, comparing the fight to a car crash that people can't look away from. He acknowledged that, while a large audience might tune in to watch, Tyson's age would remain a major factor in his performance. Warren further speculated that Tyson might be strong for the first round, but felt that age would likely catch up with him as the fight progresses, especially against a much younger opponent.
Notably, the high peaks of his career from '86 onward until he lost to Buster Douglas and then came back and wins his belts back after coming out of prison. I admire Jake Paul for the innovation. I think he's a product of his environment in times with the YouTube generation that are able to make money out of rolling marbles down a slide into water sometimes. But the reality of it, that is the next generation of broadcasting opportunities. I think it's sad for Tyson to be in a situation that he feels that economically he needs to do this, and literally he needs to do it. I don't see it as a blot on boxing's copybook. I think the commission that's licensed him, Frank can speak to that far better than I can. There are certain commissions that allow things to go on, like Florida, like Texas, that you think to yourself, what is it that you're doing here? But from the business of entertainment, if there's an audience for it, there's an audience for it. I don't want to watch it. I don't take it seriously. And on the medical side of things, you've got a 26, Frank, Jake Paul, something like that?
Yeah, he's 26. Look, let's get it right. You can be on a motorway stuck in a traffic jam and you get to the end of it and all it is people have stopped to look at a crash instead of driving on.
Rubbernecking,
and that's what this is. And that's what this is. And, Texas, you can't take them serious. I've promoted in Texas many, many years ago, but it's crazy for this. But what will happen, there are 8 2-minute rounds, I heard you say. I didn't realise it was 8 2. What will happen for one round? You're going to get vintage Mike Tyson. He'll come out throwing bombs for one round, and then he'll be a 58-year-old guy in a ring with a younger fella.
Although Frank Warren may be counting out Tyson, Jeff Mayweather believes in the power that Mike Tyson possesses. He shared that Mike only needs one punch to knock out the problem child Jake Paul, but Paul would need a lot more than that to take down Mike Tyson.
I mean, I just think that, like I said, I think that Mike Tyson only needs one punch. Jake Paul gonna need a whole lot more than one punch. He's not gonna knock no Mike Tyson out.
Furthermore, Lennox Lewis shared that he was surprised to hear about the Tyson versus Paul fight. Lennox gave props to Mike Tyson in the fight since Tyson knows how to throw good body and head punches.
And what did you initially think when you heard that Mike Tyson was going to be getting in the ring with Jake?
I was thinking that Jake Paul was going to be in trouble because, you know, Mike Tyson knows how to throw great body punches, great headshots.
Simon Dawson sees Jake Paul's matchup with Mike Tyson as an exciting evolution in boxing, blending internet fame with legendary experience. Dawson noted Tyson's past resilience, highlighting how Tyson managed to reclaim his titles after prison, proving his ability to overcome serious obstacles. However, Dawson also questioned whether Tyson could replicate that same drive and power, given the natural physical limitations that come with age.
I mean, Tyson will see it as a big payday. That's the thing, Simon.
Well, I think it's difficult to disagree with anything that Frank has just said. I mean, look, the tragedy of it all is he physically able to do it? There's debates about his physical health. From the legacy point of view, I grew up watching Mike Tyson, and some of the declines, obviously, but notably the high peaks of his career from '86 onward until he lost to Buster Douglas and then came back and wins his belts back after coming out of prison. I admire Jake Paul for the innovation. I think he's a product of his environment in times with the YouTube generation that are able to make money out of rolling marbles down a slide into water.
Frank Warren further remarked that the surge of unconventional matchups isn't boxing's fault, but rather a result of the public demand driving these fights. While Warren respects Tyson as a phenomenal puncher and a knockout artist, he remains doubtful of Tyson's chances in this fight, especially against a physically resilient opponent like Jake Paul.
We know he can punch. He's a big puncher, and it is what it is. But people will watch it. They will watch it, and that, at the end of the day, is the reason that both the guys are stepping into the ring and getting and will make money from it. And that you can't, that you can't blame boxing for that. That's not boxing's fault. That's the people who buy its fault.
Frank Warren added that a matchup like Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul would be restricted in numerous places, including the UK and Saudi Arabia. However, the fight is proceeding in Texas, where it's sanctioned as an official match rather than an exhibition. Warren voiced concerns that both fighters aiming for a knockout could lead to severe consequences, stressing that while the public and the state may be supporting it, they also bear responsibility for the potential risks involved if either fighter gets hurt.
Official, because they've made it official. And it's not against the law, it's legal, but it's not, for example, the British Boxing Board of Control, if it was in this country, it wouldn't be allowed. I don't think, it certainly would not be allowed in Saudi. I know that because the board are also operating there and the Saudis wouldn't want it. You know, in a lot of countries and a lot of states, it wouldn't happen. It wouldn't happen in New York, it wouldn't happen in Vegas. But, you know, that, as you say, could be the perception. But I think, you know, it's really difficult to... I'm a big believer, if you're over the age of 21, and Mike Tyson's certainly over the age of 21, you know, it's your life. You can do what you want to do with it, provided that you're not affecting other people. If people want to facilitate that and make it happen and so forth, then they have to accept the consequences, God forbid anything.
Bernard Hopkins compared Mike Tyson's return to the ring with Jake Paul to a hypothetical scenario of Michael Jordan coming out of retirement to compete against modern NBA stars. He remarked that fans are mainly drawn to this fight because of Tyson's presence and legacy, not necessarily because of Jake Paul. Hopkins pointed out that Tyson's popularity and history in the sport are what make this matchup a ticket seller.
What's the first thing that you would say to yourself? Michael Jordan comes out of retirement and plays on the big three.
I watch it. I mean, because I'm a addict of sports and stuff like that.
Would you buy it?
Man, how much is it?
Doesn't matter.
If it's cheap enough, it's cheap enough.
What are you watching it for? Because it's Michael Jordan?
Yeah.
That's the same reason that people will watch Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul because it's Mike Tyson.
On multiple occasions, Jeff Mayweather still believes that Mike's fight with Jake would be beneficial for him financially, and it would not hurt Tyson's legacy. If Jake Paul manages to win against Mike Tyson, then all the fans would favor Tyson because of his age. But if he loses, then it's because Mike Tyson was just that powerful. Jeff, on the other hand, is convinced that it's a lose-lose situation for Jake all the way.
It's beneficial for him either way. I mean, because no one thinks he's gonna win, and if he wins,
I think most educated boxing fans will think that he's gonna win.
Well, they ain't educated then.
I mean, I was gonna say, don't you think it's kind of a no-lose or no-win situation for Jake if he?
No, I think it's a no-lose situation for Jake.
If he loses, well, I mean, if he wins, so what? He beat a almost 60-year-old guy that hasn't been on a winning streak in decades.
That much is true.
And if he loses, he lost to Mike. A guy at 60 years old.
He lost to Mike Tyson.
A 60-year-old.
And that's like, okay, we all expected.
Frank Warren criticized the upcoming fight between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, calling it absurd and ridiculous. While Warren appreciates Jake's promotional skills and side ventures, he can't support a matchup where Paul faces Tyson, who is an out-of-prime legend. Despite Tyson's status and power as a boxer, Warren sees this as an unfair and mismatched bout.
I'm a big fan of Jake Paul as a promoter, and Nikita, his business partner. They're very smart operators, and they obviously see this as a fight that will generate public interest and obviously money. But let's get it right. Mike Tyson's 58 years of age and he shouldn't be fighting. It's as simple as that. If it was an exhibition, you'd get half away with that. But the fact that Texas, good old Texas, have basically licensed a 58-year-old to fight. I mean, what does anybody need to say about that? Anyone with an ounce of brains knows what that is ridiculous.
On the other hand, former MMA fighter Chael Sonnen expressed his thoughts on the Mike versus Jake matchup. He said that Mike Tyson is chasing the glory which he never got the chance to when there were no pay-per-views, and he may just end up beating Jake Paul.
Mike Tyson came out, and Mike Tyson is supposedly has a fight with Jake Paul coming up in a number of months. Now, I never really overly believed that, but this interview that Mike Tyson just did made me start thinking, okay, this thing is more real than perhaps a hater like Chael thought it was. Because Mike Tyson has come out and said, I know if Jake Paul fights somebody before he fights me and he loses, I don't get the opportunity. And I really want the opportunity because I think I can beat him.
Frank Warren weighed in on the upcoming fight between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, expressing serious concerns about the age gap between the two. Warren noted that if Tyson can land solid punches early in the match, Jake could find himself in trouble. However, he pointed out that Tyson is still 58, casting doubt on his ability to compete with a much younger opponent. Warren argued that it's hard to believe an older man could overpower a 27-year-old in peak shape. He strongly criticized the Boxing Commission for permitting such a risky matchup, suggesting it poses a significant danger to both fighters.
Listening to you, who's more at risk in this fight, Jake Paul or Mike Tyson?
Well, if Mike Tyson clips him in the first or second round, Jake Paul. But at the end of the day, you've got to think the 58-year-old guy is going to be the one who's at risk. I mean, he's the one who's. Let's get it right. A 58-year-old boxing.
Yes,
I mean,
yes,
come on. That's all you need to know. I mean,
no, you're right.
There's no argument other than that. I mean, if that comes across a commission's desk and they rubber stamp that, I mean, come on, what hearing did they have there? Their commission, and they all sat round and said.
Martial artist and actor Michael Jai White made a daring prediction about the Jake versus Mike Tyson fight. He shared that Paul is in big trouble if he thinks that he can beat the legendary Mike Tyson. Jay White was adamant at putting Tyson on top and doesn't see Jake winning at all.
I get royalty checks. I remember it got picked up by, I think, Hulu at one point.
You ain't getting shit from them.
I remember I would get a check every so often for like $3.
It's not the same.
Jake Paul has made it clear that he's entering the ring with Mike Tyson with a mission to end the former champion's legacy, regardless of public opinion. Paul stated he's committed to murdering the legendary fighter in this match, showing little regard for critics of this matchup. He even suggested that anyone upset by his approach should watch another sport instead. Paul's bold remarks emphasize his confidence, but they have also sparked significant controversy among fans and analysts alike.
And now, if that does happen. But yes, I'm going in there, and now it's a pro fight. It's on my record, and I'm going to put him down. And if people are pissed about it, then watch soccer. Go watch some volleyball, whatever it is that you want to do.
Mike Tyson believes that he can end the Disney Kid, and he would never go into any fight expecting a loss. He also shared that he was always going to fight Paul, since Jake fought on Tyson's undercard a few years back.
So I know you here in Las Vegas training, getting ready for your match coming up with Jake Paul. Man, how did this fight come about and how you feeling in your training?
I really don't know. I fought the exhibition with Roy Jones.
Yes.
And he was on the card. As time went on, he started building a name for himself. It was a no-brainer that the two of us should get together, and we made a decision to do it.
How much at this stage in life do you enjoy doing this stuff, or is the business just too good to walk away from?
This fight is not going to change my lifestyle financially. I'm a fighter. I feel good. I can do it. I feel I can beat this guy.
Frank Warren voiced his concerns about the upcoming fight between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, questioning whether boxing is truly appropriate for someone close to 60 years old. While he recognized Jake Paul's talent as a promoter, he stressed that the physical demands and risks of the sport make it unsuitable for fighters at Tyson's age.
Yeah, made my opinion made. I don't think people that age should be fighting, but as long as he's medically fit and he's found fit to box, that's his choice. You know, and Jake, I've got a lot of respect for him, and Nikita, his business partner. They're very shrewd guys, and the fight's on. Whatever I say is not going to make any difference to that. But, you know, boxing's not for 60-year-old guys.
Former basketball player Matt Barnes interviewed a few of his friends about Mike Tyson, and he was surprised to hear the responses from them. Anyone could be safe and sound in the room, but once they say something wrong in the presence of Mike Tyson, then they are in a world of trouble. Their responses highlight the animal hidden within Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson was out there, Darryl Strawberry, Dwight Gooden, yourself.
Yeah, and we all went to the same place. He's not here. That was the hottest place, hottest. Well, I'll tell you what. Shit.
Hey, that says it all
Taking it
right
back,
there.
look at taking it back. You got Mike Tyson, you got everybody, and there's somebody.
Yeah, there.
You gotta be careful around Mike, you know.
Both of y'all together.
Yeah, but no, Mike's a good guy.
I'm thinking about that right now. Like, you worrying about Mike shit. I've been in the room with Mike, and I'm in the room with y'all. Shit, I don't know how. I was sitting there between both of y'all.
Man, listen, you go with Mike sometimes, and listen, he's a great guy. Love him to death, and we have a great relationship. But you may say the wrong thing, and you don't even know it. And then all of a sudden, your ass is in.
Mike Tyson stated that he doesn't try to be a nice guy, and that fans shouldn't expect that from him. Heading into his fight with Jake Paul, Tyson made it clear that his intentions were anything but friendly, as he truly wanted to hurt Paul. He elaborated on the distinction between actions driven by his own desires versus doing things to please others, emphasizing his personal focus on the fight rather than catering to others' expectations.
I'm not a nice person, no. I'm a decent person. I try to do the right thing, but a nice person, I am not.
You'll be, you won't be nice to people, but you'll be kind. I'm just wondering, to you, what is the difference? Or yeah, you said you're not, you don't need to go out and make friends.
I think being a nice guy is looking for friends, trying to make people happy, going out your way to make someone happy. I'm not gonna go out my way to kiss somebody, to make them happy, to make them have a great day. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just not that guy. That's what a nice guy is, to pretty much neglect themselves for someone else's happiness.
Chael Sonnen was shocked when the fight between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul was first announced. He, along with many others, initially thought it was a joke to see the two names, Tyson and Paul, on a fight poster without the words compete or box being included. Sonnen expressed disbelief over the idea of Tyson facing an opponent who is 30 years younger. He also criticized Jake Paul's audacity to promote such a fight, calling it an unbelievable matchup.
ESPN.com picked it up. When it got picked up by SportsIllustrated.com, I'm reading this, I'm going, okay, but look, ESPN, the worldwide leader, and Sports Illustrated, neither one of them is saying fight, box, compete. It is showing Tyson and Paul. And I brought that out, and the marketing team and the PR team over there quickly corrected that. Okay, great, but now we have our clarity. But I'm just sharing with you, it was so unbelievable that I did not believe it. And I thought that I even cracked the code. Hey, you're all suckers. Well, it's being confirmed by ESPN. Well, not really. You got a graphic, two guys, big faces, and you have an advertisement for a company, but we're the ones saying what they're going to go and do. So, wrong. It was just a miss. It was just a miss by the PR team that put it out. Thought that everybody would know. But that's how unbelievable it was.
Brendan Schaub shared all the scenarios in which Tyson could lose, Jake could lose, or there could be a no decision, which would be a horrible business model for Netflix. He also highlighted how the sport is changing.
I love Mike Tyson, love Jake. I hope it crushes, but for the life of me, I cannot figure out the upside to this. Let's go through the scenario here. If you're Jake, so you knock him out, horrible, dude. What the just beat up an old man. You get knocked out. They told you this guy's a joke. You get beat up by a 58-year-old. The third scenario here is it goes to decision. That's a disaster and nobody's coming back. That's a disaster business-wise for Netflix. It's a disaster for Jake Paul. What? Went to decision with 58-year-old Mike Tyson. The only person who wins is not Netflix, not Jake Paul. Mike Tyson wins. He can do no wrong. He gets knocked out. He's 58. Still getting paid. He beats Jake Paul. Yeah, all the old guys are like, yeah, daddy. Goes to decision, Mike Tyson wins. For Netflix, dude, I don't know. Let's say Mike Tyson wins. What are you going to do? What's next? Mike Tyson and then Logan Paul to revenge his brother? And then Mike Tyson KSI? That's the business model? Okay.
UFC commentator Joe Rogan shared that he is terrified of Mike Tyson, given that he can still hit the mitts at that speed and strength. Rogan was surprised to see Tyson's transformation after the Roy Jones fight in 2020.
Tyson in his prime had been like reignited, whatever it was. I'm like, no, I need a wider table. I was nervous in the room with him. Like, you could tell he's ready to go. I don't give a 55. Like 55 in 2021 is not 55 from like 1988. It's not the same thing.
Still hurt when they hit your head.
You watch him hit pads. Have you seen him hit pads with Rafael Cordero? It's terrifying.
Jake Paul is stepping into the ring with Mike Tyson to prove that his boxing style surpasses Tyson's. However, when Tyson reflected on his past, he noted that legendary boxers like Larry Holmes and Trevor Berbick never truly put in the necessary work to defeat him when he bested them. Despite acknowledging Jake Paul's skills, Tyson remains ready for any outcome, fully confident in his preparation and abilities. This dynamic sets the stage for an intense and unpredictable fight.
And start trying to prove a point in that fight, man. I'm just telling you, the younger generation, man, how we look at you, we ain't trying to see that, man. We trying to see, like if he get in there trying to prove something, it's like the Larry Holmes, Trevor Berbick thing. Well, that's how we looking at you in terms of like, hey man, y'all get a good put on a good show for the people, but
listen, Larry Holmes and Trevor Berbick didn't put in the work that I put in when they fought me. You know, they just didn't put in that work, and not only that, they just weren't qualified to beat me at their best. They just weren't qualified to beat me. See, I train all day. I box and train all day, stay in shape.
Keanu from the MMA Connect YouTube channel agrees with Dana White's take on Jake Paul's fight with Mike Tyson. Dana White criticized Jake Paul's tendency to face older opponents, suggesting that it's unfair for Paul to make a career out of beating fighters well past their prime. Dana White's perspective reflects concerns about the integrity of such matchups, especially with Tyson being in his late 50s.
What do I think of the Mike Tyson fight?
Yes.
Tyson's 58 years old. You know what I mean? Jake fought a guy who was his age and who was also considered a boxer, and he lost.
You know, say what you want about Dana White. I don't agree with him on a lot of things, but, I couldn't have said it better myself. I mean, Dana hit the nail right on the head here.
So if you can keep fighting 50-something-year-olds, you don't think Tyson has a chance? And making a living at it. I think that Mike Tyson has a puncher's chance against anybody. Mike shouldn't be fighting.
Do you think Mike Tyson can finish Jake Paul? Will Mike Tyson's power be enough to best Paul? We would love to hear your thoughts. Let us know in the comments section below and subscribe for more content like this.